So good morning to you all, and you are welcome. It's unfortunate in a part of the world, other places, programs have begun with statements and jokes, but in a part of the world, we always begin with apologies. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So I want to apologize for the late start of this workshop. And as you may know and have read, this is a masterclass workshop, and we are privileged to have an international jazz artist in our midst. He is simply called Boty. I think he's been coming to this department for almost a decade now, because I remember when I was here as an assistant lecturer, he used to come periodically to do jazz seminars and workshops for our students. And today, as part of the International Jazz Day celebration, he is kind enough to come here and organize this master class. He's supposed to have come with another colleague, but he will tell us about that colleague. So ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, I'd like to introduce to you our guest speaker and workshop facilitator, Boty.
Thank you so much.
You can tell us a little about yourself.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm very happy to see I will start with that, one of my favorite singers. I had the privilege to work with her in the past and it was awesome. Euroma, yes, yeah. Welcome. Anyway, that means among you there are already some established artists. That is good. Anyway, yeah, to speak about myself, sometimes it is very difficult to speak about myself. I am a musician from Ivory Coast, and you know, I don't like to say music industry. I like to say entertainment industry, like the media entertainment industry, because our work as musicians go in all these areas, you know, educator and all these things. So I am into the entertainment industry, and my area of focus is mainly into education, performance, producing events, and also a cultural mediator. It's like somebody that facilitates cultural activities between the performers and institutions and so on. So this is how I introduce myself. And I had the privilege to work with a lot of educators and performers around the world. You can see that during this pandemic time, of course, people are not traveling, moving here and there, but I have the privilege to be traveling, doing workshop, master classes, and in partnership with institutions like US Embassy, like UNESCO, and other institutions. So this is how I introduce myself. But in this case, we are now, I don't want to be seen like an international artist and so on, though I am international because I have produced music that has been published on major radios, TV stations, on newspapers and so on, because this is how we can define artists that is international. Or it's not true. Yeah, so, but I want to be seen here like a student, and somebody like you, who are still students or some are working, because I'm also working. Somebody who, like you, went to a village to see how farmers work. It's like you guys are farmers, and I went to see how some farmers work and they are successful. And I came back to tell you what I'm seeing and how we can really make our work effective to be winners. You understand? Because sometimes people forget that the entertainment industry gain a lot of money more than petrol, more than cocoa and coffee. You understand? If you check on the internet, you write annual revenue of the entertainment industry, like a global, I don't know how to formulate the English, but global annual revenue of the entertainment industry. It is higher than petrol. But where does the money go? And artists are the ones that are really suffering. So I'm going to share tips with you Why is it that in this pandemic time, some artists are able to travel, to be moving, to be doing their things? And those are the tips that I want to share with you, because I strongly believe that you are the talent, you have the talent. Because everybody in the world, they look up to what you are doing. And what you are doing, you are doing it like these farmers it's like they are planting the cocoa, and they just leave it there, and people come to buy them and produce them and have benefit from it. So most of our artists, they are just at the artist level, while they can expand now with the digital time, with everything, they can expand it more and be owners of everything that comes and be very okay. So to be sharing this information, I am focusing on someone that I know personally, that I call a father, somebody who, when I'm doing something, whatever I am doing, I inform him, and he says, no, do it like this, turn like this. And that person has worked with all the great artists you can think of. His name is Kevin Eubanks. You understand? That's why I gave all the paper, because we are going to read and talk. Kevin Eubanks has worked before. Just name them. It's like Michael Jackson, with who again? With all these people. You understand? And he has been also a teacher. He taught at Berklee College of Music. And I hope you know already Berklee College of Music is one of the prestigious music schools in the world. And he has been one of the lucky musicians to have a steady gig for over 15 years. You understand? And it is not small. We are going to talk about that. So, before we continue, I would like all of you here, I would like to thank you for being here. Not for me, but for yourself. Because recently I was in another country, and they said there's a workshop, like a masterclass, and the students were asking the head of the school if there will be food to eat, or if there will be transportation and so on. You understand? And the school have to organize. Anyway, it is a French country, so it's like they like to spend a lot for culture. So they have to organize food for the children. I was very, very mad about that, because I'm French too, and this is not my generation. Even if I look young, but it's like in the 90s and early 2000, when I was still in school, we don't do that. You understand? So I want to thank you for being here, and really, what I'm going to say will be the truth. I want to stress on that, because sometimes when you see yourself in front of people, you like to, play like the dangerous guys, like who knows things and so on. But I'm going to tell you things that I have experienced, and also the information I got from people we are looking up to. Because most of you go on YouTube to look at the stars, and you want to be like them, or it's not true. So I was lucky to meet some of them, to play with them, and to share information. For instance, today, I'm supposed not to be alone. I'm supposed to be with Monica Manaker. She's a diplomat, she's an Israeli, and she's a humanitarian. She's very, very famous in her area of the world, and also in Latin America. But I've been working with her, and she's going to feature on my on a music project that I'm doing. So this is a big testimony, So she has also been sharing me information about how things happen in the world. Because nowadays, if you only think that Ghana, it's like all you want to do should be focused in Ghana, you are losing a lot. It is possible for Ghanaians now, as much as they are influencing their own people, they have to go out of this place to share their talent and to monetize it. You understand? Because me as an Ivorian, most of the time when I travel, maybe it's like in Europe and so on, people ask me, can you play high life? You understand? But I'm not Ghanaian. And I think high life is also for Nigerians. Nigerians do high life, and also Benin and so on. But the Ghanaians are really known for high life. And this is not once, like many times, can you play high life? Can you play high life? So this is an information for you to really try to bring your culture to a higher dimension in the world. It's like to conquer the world. They sing like rap music, they have conquered the world and so on, but they gain money a lot. So now, why don't you use this opportunity to bring your things that you know abroad? Because I believe that some of the Ghanaian musicians who are doing your high life, they are so much doing well that they don't come here. Do you know about that? Somebody like, it's an old guy now, like Ebo Taylor, but he's like God in abroad. If you put, let me mention a big name, you put Beyonce, you put Ebo Taylor, Beyonce, they will know her as an artist who is flashy, you know, it's like she's from America and so on. But people will like to listen to Ebo Taylor. I'm telling you the fact, from because as an organizer, it's like we are into a community that we share information among each others. It's like this man is an educator. He's into a community of educators in the world that we share information, right? Yes. So it's like people like Ebo Taylor, people like Ambuli. When he travels, it's like they take him like God is too much, but it is very important. So you have to think about. And even one time, I was watching a video of Akon, you know Akon, and he was saying that before, American musicians or people who are successful, when Africans ask for collaboration, they don't want to collaborate. But nowadays, they want to work with us. The only problem that we have, it is the connecting people between the artists from other place and here is not easy. Like a few weeks ago, there is a lady that I know. She's the programmer of a great place that people have events like National Theater in America. It is based in Harlem. And she contacted me, that time I was in Ivory Coast. She said, Constant Boty, please, are you still in Ghana? And I said, she says, I really want to collaborate with Ghanaian artists. And I said, but me, it's like, I'm Ghanaian. She said, no, I want the Ghanaian musicians. Because it's like, now we want to focus on them. We have to send them to US here for them to explain their things. So, if you go to internet, maybe you can type Harlem Stage. Harlem Stage. I don't know how to write it. Harlem, the city of Harlem. Harlem Stage. That's the name of the institution. And you can write her name. Her name is Monique Martin. Maybe you can write to her to say that you are an artist. Constant Boty said that you are looking for a Ghanaian artist. So, because she is the programmer, and she can, it's like she's the one who decides who has to come and so on. So, the institution is called Harlem Stage.org, I think. Yes, Harlem Stage. And her name is Monique Martin. The Monique is Moneque, and Martin is Martin. So you are free to see her contact there. You can write to her and introduce yourself. Say that Constant Boty said that you are looking for a Ghanaian artist. I think she will be very happy because she's really looking for that. Okay. So that being said, we are going to focus on our masterclass. The masterclass here is like somebody who, you know, it's like it is an interview of Kevin Eubanks by Mr. Ryan, like Mr. Jimmy Ryan. And who is Jimmy Ryan? Jimmy Ryan is an Hollywood and entertainment writer. That means he's running after the stars, the Hollywood people, to question them about their lives and so on. So that means the interview we are going to focus here to find out tips. That means, first of all, the interviewer, like the one who is interviewing, is a powerful guy because he's an Hollywood and entertainment writer. You know, because it's like his focus is just Hollywood things. And in America, like in Accra here, there is a Osu. Osu is like our Hollywood. Or it's not true. It's like that's where we see the star going. People are living their lifestyle. It is in every country. In every country, there are places where you can see stars and so on. And here it is Osu. If someone said that, okay, me, I'm doing my activities in Osu, we consider the person. You understand? So the same thing like in US, especially on the in the West Coast, when you mention Hollywood and so on, that you are an artist, you are from there, it is very powerful. So this is the first thing that we are going to see. And the second one, like I said, it is Forbes that is publishing this interview. And Forbes is an American business magazine. I hope you understand when I speak. I'm reading my English, eh? You can correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Forbes is an American business magazine owned by Integrated Will Media Investment and the Forbes family. Published 8 times a year. It features original articles on finance, industry, investing, and marketing topics. You imagine, in this magazine that they speak about finance, industry, investing, and marketing topics, they are interviewing a musician, an artist. It can make you think that we are just, in Africa here, we are using our music at the, how can I say it in English? The archaic level. It's like the whole time I am a musician, I am waiting for people to give me gig and so on. But now, the musicians have to conquer all these places. For instance, we are doing this jazz day. I just got a small deal with Adidas. But I'm a musician. What is it that I have to do with Adidas? I'm not a model, you understand? But Adidas says that they want to dress me for my concerts. You understand? So now, for the concerts, my shoes, my top will be Adidas. I have to wear Adidas cap. And sometimes if I need some things again, they can give me. You understand? But they will now use my name. And I'm not even a star yet. You understand? But I will tell you tips about all those things. So don't just be like you are a musician, you are using your skills in the musician's field. It's like you are reducing the capacity that is allowed to you. So let's start. I want someone to read as we go along. The next page. It's like you will read and I will tell you stop and explain a few things. And along the line you can take the notes, you can take notes on what is important to you. Yeah. Because here there are educators, there are performers, there are photographers, maybe anyone, so it is important to you. So who is going to read? I like the voice of Eburama, so she's going to read. Yeah. Maybe you can just be here and hold the mic if you like to come here. Or you want to stay there? Okay, yeah.
Guitarist Kevin Eubanks grew up in a musical household. His mother has a master's degree in music education and taught for 35 years. And Eubanks was encompassed in music throughout his schooling, learning a number of instruments first at Settlement Music School in Philadelphia and later at Berklee College of Music in Boston, eventually becoming a music teacher himself. It was an experience that taught him the value of music as a vehicle for learning life lessons like timeliness and working with others, skills which play a critical role not just in early education but in everyday life as a professional in any field.
Thank you. So you see, this personality of focus, because he's the personality of our focus now, Kevin Eubanks, he grew up in a family of musicians. Later you will know that his brothers and so on, they are musicians. His mother earns a master's degree in music education. So she has been bringing him really into the music life and so on. But he said something very important here, that because after growing up with his mother, his family, he became later a music teacher himself. And he was even lucky to teach at Berklee College of Music. And I remember during one of my discussions with him, he was telling me that at the time he was very okay. Berkeley College called him to be the head of the guitar department, but he refused because he has so much to do. You understand? And here it says that music education taught him a lot of things, not just about music, but the role in early education, but in everyday life as a professional in any field. It was an experience that taught him the value of music. First of all, the value of music as a vehicle for learning life lessons, like timeless and working with others. You understand? I think musicians are some of the most people who are blessed because the music itself helped them to be nice people in society. But we see that the example they give about musicians is musicians, they are frivolous, it's like they are into drugs and so on. But this is just a small part of it. But how about bankers? You understand? People don't see what they do. But a real musician, he learned how to live with, it's like the music taught him how to be a nice person in society. Because at the end, I will let you know why it is very important for a musician to be honest and to be a good person in society. At some point, I will tell you why. Yeah, because in some areas, people believe musicians more than anybody. Okay, yes, we can continue. Eubanks?
Yeah, Eubanks embarked upon an unexpected career in television, joining saxophonist Branford Marsalis in the Tonight Show band in 1992 before leading that group himself from 1995 to 2010.
Thank you. Wait. I will tell you a small story. When Kevin Eubanks graduated from Berkeley College of Music, he, because it's like people are in Kumasi and so on, and they're all after their graduation, they want to come to Accra to work and so on. But this one, it is a personal story because, you know, like he's like my dad, I know him personally and so on. So he said that when he graduated from Berkeley College of Music, because it is in Massachusetts, Boston, he has now to find transport. He has like $800 in his pocket, and that was in the 80s. When he came to New York, he had just his guitar and the 800 in his pocket. And he's from Philadelphia. Philadelphia is like 3 hours from New York City. So he came there, and when he was there, Vicky, do you remember when he was saying that, first of all, he has to go to do, with his degree, he first went to a place where they do pizza to wash the dishes. Because even in New York, to be teaching or to be doing something, you have to be excellent. And there, they don't look people's face. It's like there is no pity. Like no pity, like, oh, you're my brother. No, it's like you have to be excellent. So he says that his technique was to stay there and try to look at the place to understand how he has to put himself in. And that's one of the same thing I also did, and I will tell you later. So, and we asked him, but when you went to New York, you were washing things, dishes and so on. How were you starting? He says, no, he was in his room and practicing a lot. In the night, he will go to clubs, he will buy just one drink, he will stay with that drink for long, just to understand what is going on, how people are playing and so on. And it is there that he has met some of his friends, he has to chat with them, and it went on for like 2 years. Can you imagine? Like 2 years, you go to Accra, you leave Kumasi to Accra with your degree, and you are now, it's like you are going to club, you are watching, it's like you are watching plates for pizza and so on. And that is in America, in New York, for an American again. So, it is after that he started meeting some of the musicians he met before. But there, when they meet him, it's not like, hey, my friend. Of course, they make it, my friend, how are you, and so on. But they will not tell you their business. It is for you to show that you are available. That means you have to be down, to show that you have something that they will need to put you in their business. So it was not easy. Yeah, so continue.
His ever-present smile,
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I forgot to say it. It's like when he was in New York, he started, after 2 years, he started touring a bit with some people and so on. And he has one of his friends who is very successful at that time. His name is Branford Marsalis. Who knows Branford Marsalis here? Okay, he's a great guy into music education and in jazz. And have you heard about Wynton Marsalis? Yeah, okay. He is the big brother of Wynton Marsalis. So Branford Marsalis was already successful. And Branford told him, Kevin, there is a TV program in Los Angeles. That is one of the top TV stations in America at that time, The Tonight Show. That the programmer, the owner of the show, wants me to come there with my band to play. It's like to be the band of the show. So when the time is right, I will let you know. So after a few months, Kevin Eubanks was in the city of New York there, and he received a call. Man, please, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just here. Come now to Los Angeles. Where can he find money to buy a flight to come? So he has been seeing friends, hustling. He got his flight, and he says he just left with his guitar and a shirt, and his room was there, like that. And I will tell you how successful it became now. So when he went there, they were playing. And the Tonight Show is a very big show that in America, every evening, it is a comedy show like this guy, this South African guy, I forgot his name, Trevor, I don't know if you know him.
Trevor Noah.
Yeah, Trevor Noah, do you know him?
Yeah.
Okay. It is a very successful comedy show. And you know, Americans, they like televisions. And during that show, there are a lot of advertisements. So there is a big money inside there. And they are the band that play for the Tonight Show. And in that section, it's like every big artist that releases their album, they want to go to that show. That's why Kevin has been playing with all the big artists you know. It's like he has been working their music, playing on that show. And luckily for him, the band leader, Branford Marsalis, was called by Sting. Do you know Sting? Sting went there to promote his album. I think maybe it was like a Soul Cages, I don't really remember. And he told Branford, I want to go on tour. I want to go with all the musicians in the band. And can you imagine, the musicians, they are well paid, but Sting is taking them. That means Sting was giving millions for the band to follow him. So when all the band follow him, and Sting did not need somebody to play the guitar. So Kevin Eubanks was lucky to stay there, and he has now to form a band to be now the band leader of the Tonight Show. And do you know his salary? It is $5 million a year. That means every year $5 million. And can you imagine if they have to do rehearsal? If the bands come, maybe they have to pay the musicians and so on. So his life started to be different. And I asked him, but how about your house in New York? He said, he doesn't even know what happened there. It's like, he was so okay that he forgot about that. Yeah, so let's continue on. Okay, anyway, yeah.
His ever-present smile, self-deprecating demeanor, and quick wit made him the perfect foil as he grew in his role as sidekick during partnership with NBC late night host Jay Leno, which spanned nearly 20 years.
Okay. Thank you. So, you see, this is when now we have to see something for being a musician. He just went to music school to study music. He studied composition at Berklee College of Music. He finished. He went to New York to hustle, and from there, his behavior and his old friend that he met before. That's why you have to be careful with people you meet on your road. His old friends called him to come to Los Angeles, and there things started changing. But there now, there is another challenge. The challenge is what? It is a comedy show. And he has to learn how to make people laugh too. You understand? You went somewhere to be a band leader, but since it is a comedy show, sometimes the guy comes, he just makes some comedy, and Kevin has to smile, he has to laugh. You understand? It is not funny, but you have to smile. Because one of the reasons Bradford Marsalis left the Tonight Show, he was complaining that some of the jokes didn't make him laugh. So he was there, he was just laughing, but it was not fun there. But I believe that because they're proposing big money, he was just making an excuse that because it was not funny. But what you have to learn here is that the music that you are doing will not just be what you have to do in the career. Because as you go, it is growing and it is expanding. You understand? So now here, Kevin has to be a comedian, which is also a function in the entertainment industry. You understand? That's why you have to be open to work with painters, photographers, like hairdressers. Because at some point in your career, it will catch you, it will join you. Like me today, in a few days, in some days now, I have to be like a model, dress Adidas. I'm not even big, you understand? So I have to learn that to fit in. So whether you like it or not, as a musician, it will get you. Let me take an example. An artist in Ghana here, maybe like Shatawale. Shatawale, some companies can take him like a model. You understand? It's like they can put him on an advertisement, like maybe about his nose or his face or his style, and they will just use it as a promotion for something. But he has to learn to take care of his face, you know. It is very important because it will catch you. You understand? Yes, so in this program, Kevin has to learn to respond to the jokes. He has to learn to laugh. If you go to Google, just type sometimes Kevin Eubanks, The Tonight Show. You will see sometimes he will laugh. But it is not real sometimes. But he has to do that. You understand? And it is part of it. Okay. So you can carry on. And now we are, if you are tired, you can tell me. Yeah. It's like now a regular gig. Yeah, okay, right, yeah.
A regular gig like that is just about unheard of for any professional musician. The Tonight Show position offered Eubanks security as the record industry underwent drastic upheaval in the early 2000s. He continued his work in the entertainment industry, scoring music for film and television, in an era where it otherwise became difficult to monetize record music. For artists today, such work has become a viable alternative revenue stream as it becomes more difficult to sell albums.
Thank you. So you see, it's like it is not easy for a musician, like a performer, to secure a gig. It's like you play somewhere every day for like 15 years. So that was a great thing for him. And you see that you hear that later he has been scoring music for film. What does film has to do with music? That means he has now to deal with actors, actresses, he has to deal with the film directors and so on. So you see where your talent now is taking you. That's why sometimes I used to tell people in schools like where you are, please make sure what you are learning here, you learn it very well. Because a time will come, you will have no time to go and read your book to study. It is really true. Because there, they want to see you, it's like there is a problem, you have to solve it. So while you are still student, you see people like Shatawale, who again, like who? Stoneboy and so on. I know some people that work, okay, we're on camera, I don't want to mention some things, but it's like some people work with some artists, and when they travel, they really have to give their career to someone to manage it. It's like to work for them. And the only thing they can do now it is just come and perform. because they did not learn what you are learning. You understand? So it's like when they arrive there, the people now who are like the agents and so on, and the people who understands the business, they are the one placing everything for you. And when they do that, they get a lot of money, and they can give you like maybe like 20% and so on. So when artists come here, the only enjoyment they have, oh, I've been traveling. You see them nice and so on, but somebody is getting a lot of money. So make sure when you are here, you learn a lot, and also how to read contract. Because artist contract, it is long, but there are some points inside that you have to know how to read them. And also, there is an advice that along the line that I'm giving. When you are an artist, make sure if you are not popular or if you are not endorsed by companies yet, don't get a manager. You get a manager when you are busy. Because it is important for you to know the manager's work before later you hire a manager. I am telling you from experience. Because later, the manager, because he understands all the roles to get things and to sign contract to get business, you are just artists. Later, the manager will get richer than you. Because it has been happening in history. Like later, artists and their people, they fight. They say that this guy is stealing me. The manager is not right. Because the artist doesn't know, he did not know about the ramifications of being a manager. So you have to learn accounting too. Because the manager has the role of negotiating. It's like when they call you, and especially if they call you for a project, some of the first questions you can ask, you can say that yes, I'm willing to do it. And the project, who is financing the project? These are the questions. But here I think people can get angry about that. You understand? They will say, but why are you asking? But it is a normal thing. Because you want to know to place your fee. You understand? And on the project, what is the finality? When you ask all that, depending on where it is going, and you look at two things. Don't look at the finance first. Look at where it is bringing, the stage where it is bringing you. Because artists gain money from their fans, from people they know and people who know them. You understand? More than, it's like, for instance, in the career of an artist, there are 4 stages. Maybe you can write the 4 stages. The first stage, it is a discovery. It's like they discover them. It's like in an artist's career, there are 4 stages. The first stage, it is discovery. It's like they discover you. Because, for instance, this guy, he plays the guitar. It is only here people know him. But on the music platform in the country or in the area, nobody knows him. So it is your responsibility to go anywhere and make people see you. And before you go there, you must have your brand name. You understand? You can say that my name is Apioko or my name is John. And that John, anything you do, it should be like John is doing his thing, so that people know that John, this is your brand. But you have to go everywhere for people to know you. And now that is discovery. People will discover you. That means you are now spending for your transportation. You are spending to play for free. People don't know you. You understand? So you are spending to play for free. That's why it is good for a musician to have 2 things. A friend who is rich or a family who trusts their work, so that they can now put money into your transportations. You understand? And when they discover you and they like what you do, maybe they will say, okay, today come and play here. They will call a lot of people for you to come and present yourself. So the second thing is confirmation. You have to confirm what they discovered. So write confirmation. Because you can see that there are some artists, when they come, people say, wow, he's great. And after, you hear nothing. Because they were not there to confirm. I don't want to mention some artist's name. They did their first record, and after, is done. You understand? Because they did not confirm. So you have to confirm for people to say that yes, this guy is good. After the confirmation now, I don't know if it is an English word, it is the consecration. It exists in English? Consecration. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. The consecration is what? It is, for example, I take Eurama. Eurama is a good singer, everybody knows her. But what is it that when they mention in the singing that people can say, see her? You understand? It's like she is consecrated in that style. She can sing everything, but that style there, she is the one that masters it. So it is the consecration. For example, in Ghana here, Kojo Antwi, he can sing, but in reggae, love song, he's the one. So then he has the consecration. He has been discovered, he has confirmed, and now in a particular style in the system is good there. So while you are here, start to think of a place where you can really focus to be identified. And after that now,
The word is concentration.
what?
Concentration.
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 I don't know.
Not consecration.
Okay. I'm speaking like in French.
Concentration, yeah.
Okay. It's like that place there is the one that they see that this guy in that place is powerful. So they are discovery, confirmation, concentration. Okay, concentration. And after now there is a institutionalization. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
That one now is like a institution like a World Bank and so on. They will now work with you. They work with you not because you are a good singer, not because you are talented, but because you have people. You understand? Because on your road, you are discovered, you confirmed, you have people, you go somewhere, they follow you. And now you did the concentration that they know that this guy is powerful there. Somebody like maybe like Kojo Antwi, when there is a Saint Valentin, all the companies that make things in love, they can call him. This is institutionalization. It is that area that you see that some artists are very rich, because companies which company? Airtel, Vodafone, they can call you now to be their ambassador for a project. And they do that because of the people who are behind you. So please, really consider this stage. Me right now, I am at the, I can say confirmation. You understand? In Ivory Coast, it is institutions. In Ghana, I think it is confirmation. I have to confirm. In America, it is discovery. You know, so you have to have your places where you have those things. You understand? In the education part in America, I think I am at the consecration, because at least somebody who has been called to teach for a Bianco Institute of Jazz is not a small thing. You understand? So it is, they know that I have a specialty in the field and I teach there. You understand? So you have to find your own things too. It's like make sure you have people who believe in you. Like there is one example. During the pandemic, many artists were there, they don't have job, they were crying. And I wanted to put a bit of social in my things. So I contacted some musicians and I said, okay, let's do a Facebook Live and so on. I have some fans around the world that will give money. You understand? And we did that, and I was giving the money to the musicians and so on. And they found that it is something good that they can do. And they started now to organize like Facebook live concert, and they started to understand that this is another way to get. So make sure that you have your people, and to get your people is not easy. You have to go out there to give yourself, and it is a long road. Like me, I started my professional career in 1999. So I've been playing in clubs, playing with institutions, and it's like traveling, playing for people and so on, before I become a band leader in my own right, producer and so on. So it is a long road, and still I am not yet in the institutionalization. Like in Ivory Coast, yes, institutionalization. In Ghana, it is confirmation. So you have to be able to know those things for yourself. You understand? Yeah. And please, really be very serious about that. Because I don't want to be an artist where I am sick, I have to go and write that, please help me and so on. But in the music industry, there is money. And we are still going to discover those things. For example, you see that even our mobile phone, you have music. Everywhere music, funeral music. But you have no idea that those music, because business people say that once a music is played, somebody is getting money. Anytime you hear a music is played, somebody is getting money. In your car, you are playing, somebody is getting money. If it is a CD, all the CDs, they have a number. And that number, if it is connected, it will go somewhere and they will know it is being played somewhere. And they can now tax that company that manufacture the things and so on. So you have to know those things. Yes, let us continue.
Quote, musicians might want to be more open-minded and be more creative about how to monetize their talent, unquote. Said Evans via email. Quote, technology has closed many traditional doors, at the same time opened up plenty new ones. It is up to the musicians to embrace an entrepreneurial type of attitude, unquote.
Thank you. Yeah, you see, we're seeing that in early 2000, the music is like the selling of CDs have dropped. Because before you used to hear that these artists sell 10 million albums and so on. That time, producers were very rich, getting music from artists and so on, and the musicians were also okay. But since the early 2000, we don't say that it sold this number. They say that streaming. And streaming, how much are you getting? You understand? So now there is a technique that some people have developed. They call it do it yourself. It's like because before, to even produce a music, to release a music, you must find a producer. You go to studio. After studio, you have to mix and the distribution, the publishing, and so on. So it takes all this, and each person have their role. You understand? And you have to find also a label. But now everybody can make their own label. I have my label. You understand? Everybody can make their own label, but you have to be organized. Even today, you can see somebody take his phone, he go to the software, he makes his music, and he sells. You understand? So technology has made that anybody now can come and say they are musicians. But how lucky are you? You are lucky because you are here to learn the music theory, how the science of how music have to function. Because me, sometimes it pains me when in Ghana or especially in African countries, people who don't know anything about music, the history and how it has to go, they are the ones speaking for the musicians. Or it's not true? Eh? And they are the one getting everything, you don't get anything. It is because you are not using these forces to be the one that is there. And I'm very happy that in Ivory Coast, it's like it is really advanced. And in Nigeria, it is getting advanced. But in Ghana here, please try to work on that. Because most of our professors in Ivory Coast, they were taught by Ghanaians. You understand? There is a professor here, his name is Nketia, I think he passed away. In Ivory Coast, it was like a celebration that this man passed away. Oh, why, and so on. So you have to think that you Ghanaians, you are really, and this has nothing to do with me being in front of you and saying all these things. You are very smart. You can see if it is powerful what I'm saying or not. You understand? Most of our professors, the ethnomusicologists and so on, they were trained by, because I think in West Africa, the Ghanaians were the most advanced in that, right? Ethnomusicology and so on. So you have a lot to produce and give, but people are really sleeping. So for us not to waste too many times, we are going faster now. My paper is mixed. Yes, you can. Okay.
Evans' most recent album, East-West Timeline, incorporates musicians and ideas from both coasts. In the midst of a US tour, he looks forward to what's next. Quote, I have 3 ideas that I'm looking forward to working on. just getting my head in the right place to dive in and be dedicated to them, unquote, said the guitarist. Quote, a message to fans of music. Thank you for allowing music to touch your life, unquote. Eubanks checked in with his thoughts on growing up immersed in music from a young age, the impact of his tenure on The Tonight Show has had on him, the importance of music in American classrooms and more. The guitarist performs Tuesday and Wednesday, April 16th and 17th at Jazz TX in San Antonio, Saturday, April 27th at Musical Instrument Musician in Phoenix, Sunday.
Okay, thank you. So, you see, I think this is where I have to stop, because the question and answers speak a lot, and they are most of the time the explanation of what we developed here. You understand? So we'll stop here and we'll go for question and answer, so that we can conclude these workshops. But what I want you to understand here, because many times I have seen a lot of artists release an album and they just release and nothing happened. There is a technique about it. Nowadays, before you release an album, you have two options. The first is, do you want to promote yourself through the album? The second one is, do you want to get money from the album? You understand? So, if you want to promote yourself, and again, it's like before the album comes out, you must have a plan. It's like going to the studio, and while you are doing the project, and which institution you want to link the project to. For instance, I am doing a project that speaks about the COVID. You understand? I was lucky to contact the World Health Organization and so on, and I said, but how I have to make it easier? I have been touring with one Israeli singer who was supposed to come here, and her husband is the ambassador of Israel in Ivory Coast, and she has a crowd in Latin America, in America and Europe. So, how I have to include her in my things? I saw her. It's like we know each other before. I saw her and I said, okay, this is what I want to do. I see that you are a humanitarian. Why don't we do something about COVID to support people, to find out banks and to help musicians and so on? And she was very happy. She said, it's a very powerful idea. Let's do it. You understand? So, into collaboration, you are nobody. Nobody knows you. So how do you come to somebody who has established their career and you point at something that will enlighten their work? Because the woman, she's a humanitarian. People know her in Europe and so on. And she has a husband in Ivory Coast who is the ambassador. And we have our COVID issue. We have a lot of things that the people are really suffering because there is no work and so on. And she will be very happy that somebody came to her to propose an idea like this that will enforce, that will really present that she's really the person that the world sees. So she was very happy. So an example can be here in Ghana. There is something about education, alamse. You can also go like people are coming to the environmental issue. You can go and see maybe like some NGOs, some companies, and to say that you have a music project to sensibilize people about girls or school, girls schooling, like environmental issue, like the use of plastics in the street and so on. There are a lot of ideas, and you try to identify institutions that promote that thing. And when you go there, they will look. Some will say, no, we are not interested. But keep searching. There is one that will be interested, and you say, okay, my budget is like $20,000 from producing the album, from finishing, and the concert and so on. And from there, you make funds from institutions. You understand? So, it is also a technique like how to use your talent to incorporate into people's business. Welcome, Mr. Kalampa. from UNESCO. Yeah. Okay, so I think for us not to take too many times, it is open to ask questions. You can use, you see these questionnaires here says a lot about the rest of the questions. But I'm going to, before that, I will read the biography of Kevin Eubanks quickly for people to see what he has done again. Guitarist Kevin Eubanks grew up, no, this is not here, sorry. Yeah. Kevin Eubanks is an American guitarist and composer who has a net worth of over $25 million. Kevin Eubanks is a jazz guitarist, most famous for being the band leader on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno from 1995 to 2010. His annual salary as leader of The Tonight Show was $5 million US. In April 2010, Eubanks announced that he was stepping down as band leader to pursue other touring and recording opportunities outside of night television. Eubanks was born in Philadelphia in 1957. He was born into a musical family that included a pianist and a trumpet and trombone player. Kevin Eubanks studied trumpet, violin, and piano, but eventually chose the guitar. He attended Berklee College of Music, moving to New York. He started performing jazz and played in India, Pakistan, and Jordan. I will tell you why he played in India, Pakistan, and Jordan. There is a program of the US government we call Jazz Ambassadors. So they choose musicians that they see that they have an impact on people around the world, and they sponsor those musicians to travel in countries to promote the American culture through jazz. You understand? So that's why he went to India and so on. He did not spend anything. US government spent all that for him to go and do that. And he started performing jazz and played, he had his first album titled Guitarist, released on Elektra label, and has since gone on to appear on over 100 albums. He started his own label, In Soul Music. So it is important for you also to have your own label. I have my label, and it is not something mysterious. You can go to the Registrar General, I don't know where, if you know, you go there, you say you want to have your own label. Why label? Because at some point, if you have to take your royalties, you must get a label. You understand? And you are the owner of your own music. Because for instance, if I produce a Urama, I will be the owner of the master copy of the song. Even if it is your song, I will have the powerful on it. You understand? You will just content yourself with the performing rights and so on. But I have your music, it is for me as the producer, because I have the label and so on. So it is important for musicians nowadays to struggle to have their own label. You call it maybe like McAfee label or any name you want. It is registered, and you release your music under that label, so that anywhere it goes in the world, you are getting the full right, the full benefit from the music. It is very important. Don't just think that this has to be done by people outside the world. It has to be done by you also, and it is possible. It is not much money to have your own label. It can be like maybe like maximum 2,000 CDs, so that for life you own your music. It is played anywhere in the world. They will contact you to give you your rights. Yeah. So I continue. He taught in Canada and Italy, and as well as Rogers University. He started playing with the Tonight Show band in 1992 and composed the show's closing theme song. You see, it's like even there, he did business there. It's like as part of being the band leader, he composed the song for the show. That means he will get his right again on the show. So you always have to think as a musician, how you have to bring your music to places where people need music. Yeah. So He took over as band leader in 1995 when Bradford Marsalis left. In addition to leading the band, Eubanks would sometimes interact and joke with Leno during the show. Eubanks left the Tonight Show in 2010 to focus on his music. He is a pescatarian and a big fan of Philadelphia sport teams. Eubanks was voted PETA World's Sexiest Vegetarian Man in 2007. But all these things, they are music business techniques. You understand? It's like you can be a musician and you belong to an association and so on. Because you must get your people. People come to you because of the people you have at your back. So don't just say I'm a musician and so on. You have to be into associations. Yeah, so I think the rest you can read later the questions and the answers and so on, and you can develop your own techniques there. So time is open for questions, but before that I will be happy for Mr. Carl from UNESCO to say something about the International Jazz Day and whatever you... Okay.
I bring you greetings from, want me to take it off? Around, okay. So I should come forward.
Yeah, okay. Ah, the mic was working. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Mr. Carl. How happy to see you. Mr. Carl supports musicians so much. This is in here. Disturb him, please.
Okay. I bring you greetings from the UNESCO office in Accra. The head of office could not be here for a number of reasons. And I'm also, normally he has to delegate before he can attend the meeting. So I'm just here to provide the encouragement and the support. We've been working with Constant Boty for a very long time at Mevicon Services on International Jazz Days for many years now. I remember the last time when we were in the same room here with, what's his name?
With Greg Osby.
Yes, and the other guy. Yes.
Yes.
That was very, very interesting. And usually the day falls on April 30th, but for Boty's event, it couldn't be on that day. It was agreed that it would be on the day that they chose, which is today. And that's why we're having it. But for Ghana on the International Jazz Day, there were so many activities that happened. We had Musica organized an event to celebrate the former president, Jerry John Rawlings. There was an event at the virtual hub in, I think, East Legon. There was another one, there was a third one, yes, on Joy FM. They run a series of programs on jazz, and then YFM, that is more tailored to the young people. So we're providing this coordination and encouragement that people should get into jazz, into music, because you look at the issue of creativity and improvising, and I believe that jazz has a way of connecting people of different cultures. It's almost a diplomatic tool, as you were talking about. Cultural diplomacy, it fits in there. So I would encourage you that if this is what you're choosing, then stick to it, keep your mind at it, and there's nothing that you cannot do. It's an important day for people in this area, and as he said, Herbie Hancock and the whole team who actually got the day as an international day, I believe are all there to provide support to people in this area as is expected. And Boty is here as a testimony, and he's giving back to you what he has also learned. So I hope you take it up very well. Thank you very much, Boty.
Thank you. Carl is the cultural person at UNESCO Ghana, so if you have your activities or whatever you want to do and you need a technical support or enlightenment on things, you can contact him, and he's very welcoming. So, yeah. And do you have any questions so that we can close?
Just comments.
Yeah.
Can we comment?
Yes, comment.
Okay, so my name is Austin.
Yes.
Musician and a professor.
Uh-huh.
So I'm very excited about what you are teaching, particularly the business aspect of music. I began professional career in 1982. That's when I formed my first band in Nigeria. So I remember I read 83 that James Brown, he said he has only 1% talent and 99% business acumen.
Wow.
You know, James Brown. And that's what you are, you know, see happening on.
Have you heard it?
Uh-huh.
It's powerful.
So, you know, the need to make, you know, the business, you know, to understand the business aspect of music. And I'm also glad that you said the traditional aspects of music is collapsing.
Yes.
We started at a time when we set up stage, people buy tickets, we release albums, people buy, but now those things are changing. You know, so how do musicians change along, you know, in this, how do we take advantage of this? You also educated me on the stages, the career stages of an artist. The career stages of an artist. So I was just wondering, where I used to stay in Nigeria, I was an institution. But here, I'm at the stage of, what am I saying? I've released 2 albums in this COVID, you know, distributed by DistroKid in the US. But I don't think that they have discovered me here in Ghana. They have discovered me. So I now know that, yes, this thing is geographically located, you know, where you are. So I still have to work on that. The issue of concentration, that's a big deal. You know, I sing all genres, you know. So is it really, if you look at the demand-supply aspect of it, you really think it's good to concentrate and say, this is my genre. The only thing you become what the Germans call idiot of your discipline, you know, so to say. You just stay stuck. For example, you see how people move into gospel music. It's not because we are very holy, but you know, the business moved to the church. When you belong to a church of 10,000 people, of course, that's a big market. So overnight, everybody became, you know, gospel minister. So I'm wondering whether it's good to concentrate or, you know, on styles, you know, on brand. And finally, the issue of age and music. You know, at the point back in my country, Nigeria, sometimes the music, popular music where I am, is considered music for the youth. So, in Ghana here too, I think, though there are some old musicians, but there is general thinking that music is for young people. So the age factor, some of us who are close 60 plus 1, you know, we are reinventing ourselves. I bought a new Fender bass now, I practice, I do a lot of stuff, but sometimes the age factor comes in. So I say, hey, old man, leave us. So how do you, I know in America this doesn't work. I come there a lot. Old people play, young people play. But in this part of the world, we look at it as a huge thing. So these are some of the things.
Thank you so much. And these are some of the things that we have been reflecting a lot. It is so much information you said, but I will focus on 2, and maybe you can remember me in the other ones.
Okay.
You mentioned about, let me start from the last that I remember freshly. About the age, the technique I can give you, it is to collaborate with young people.
Good.
Because you are saying that, and you can't change it just like that. In America, old people play and people find it fine and so on. But in Ghana here, they'll say, but you are old, let the young people, right? So you have to collaborate with young people. And someone who is doing it right.
She has done one with me.
Yes. And people will look at her, she's a beautiful lady and so on. And people will see it as something that can attract them to discover you.
Good.
You understand? So you have to focus on the technique that we call collaboration. You understand? And in America, there is a guy that name is John Lee Hooker. He's a bluesman. He has been struggling. It is when he got in his 60s that he made his record now, and it has made a boom. So sometimes, you know, I said something that I don't believe that you have done that. Have you been going to places to play for free or to let people know what you do?
We're not here. We've done those things those days.
Yes. So those days, leave them there. But nowadays, try to focus now on the reality of these days now.
Yeah.
It's like you can take her you go to places and you go to introduce what you do, and they will discover it. I think that you have not been doing that here.
Yeah.
You understand? So you have to be doing that. And about the question of age, I personally don't believe that people age. It's like music has the thing that you have to stop because you are too old. Maybe it is because you can't stand and so on. But you can still get the technique to collaborate. And Ambole is doing very good in that.
Yeah.
He has young people with him and he's there. You see him with his saxophone, he's not even playing it. Somebody's playing saxophone, but he's there. Yes! This is a great understanding of music business. You understand? So, for you, the diagnostic I can give you, it is like a focus on collaboration. Yes. And which again you said?
I talked about the special concentration.
Concentration. I'm taking example from myself. I can play jazz, I can play rock. Even people know me at my early stage as a rock musician. Because before I was having long hair, dressing like skies and so on. So I was doing rock a lot. After I did classical music and so on. But I have not been to US for long. Just in like 3 years. In New York, all the big players, they know me. And I played with most of the great guys in New York. Why? Because before I get there, I have a big brother, a friend. His name is Leonel Weke. Do you know him? He's from Benin. He's the guitarist of Herbie Hancock. He studied in Ivory Coast, in our music school there. And I was asking him a lot of questions. He says that when you come, don't come and play the jazz that they are playing there. Play their jazz, but put some of your things in Ivory Coast. And because I was lucky to study ethnomusicology, so I was adding now the elements of the tribal things into my jazz performance. So when I came there, people talk about me, Boty, come here, play with me, play with me. So, and that is the thing that I let people to discover me and to know about me. But other than that, I can do every other things. And that was the easy way for me to get focused. You understand? It's like you are an artist, you can do everything. But sometimes, to open ways, try to look at certain things and concentrate there. Because that thing is something that you do it naturally, easily. So concentrate there to bring a wow. And after that now, you can now work with your names and everywhere. So I'm speaking about the concentration because it is something that will fasten the road for you. Yeah. Yeah.
Add something. I think somebody like Legon,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you read about him.
Yeah.
He introduced
Afro
jazz.
Uh-huh.
The African rhythms into jazz.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very, very unique. But
Yes.
in Ghana, he was not
Celebrated.
celebrated. I think it was called the magic drama,
Mm-hmm.
or the divine drama.
Yeah.
So that is exactly what Boty is talking about. What is traditional here is what will be unique
Mm-hmm.
when you send it out there. But if you do what everybody is doing, what is new?
Yes.
So that's just my intervention.
Thank you so much. Because, you see, when I travel to Europe and so on, I see some African musicians. They are very talented, but they are not entering in the system. They go after they play now in church. It is not bad to play in church. You understand? It is because they did not work on something that identify them. You understand? So you have to think about that. What are you bringing on the market? So when I went to America, I started to focus on things that they are not doing. So when I imagine some great players like Mike Stein, who played with Miles Davis and so on, and he was very special about my playing. He called me in a hotel. We stayed there for 2 weeks, and for me to show my things like that, it is very big. And Mike Stein is a guitar legend. You understand? Because I worked on, I worked on something. For example, Eulama. Eulama, if you don't know her, and you listen to her voice for the first time, you will think it is a mobile phone that is talking. It's like sometimes, I remember, I have a friend, a lady friend that called my mother, and she was saying, hello, is Customer there? And she was saying, hello, hello. She thought that it was the mobile speaking because it is so sweet. You understand? So, yes, it's like so she has a texture that she can sell very well. But now she needs business people to put her to where she has to be. So you, since people know you in Nigeria, you can use her to those places. You have your style, she has a style, and they see that mixture. Yeah, it can be one of it. Yeah.
That's a contribution to concentration.
Yes.
I like Ogenji because of his style of singing.
Mm-hmm.
And when you listen to him very carefully, the traditional way that he sings alone makes you always want to think about the past. When you listen to some of his past music, the way he sings and all, it has continued. Even in these times that he has blended modernity with the style of singing, listen to some of his songs, and you identify some of those things in the style of them. And so, such a person, if you want somebody to sing, bringing back some of the things in the past, I believe that he's a person that you like to follow because of that concentration. When you hear the way even the John Crow people sing and all those things, he have those things in his style of singing.
So it is
blending it with modern way of doing.
So you see, like I said, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Like I said that many African musicians, they want to go abroad and so on. I see them a lot, and they are there and nothing happened, and they have to force themselves to get married and have the nationality, and after they are going to be drivers, and they forget about their career because they were not able to work on something and go there. When we say that playing the guitar, I'm not the best. But why is it that today I'm so happy about my movement there, how things are happening in such a way? You understand? It is because you have to see that business aspect. And I believe that Ghanaian artists have a lot to give to the world. Yeah. Another question? Yeah.
So I would like to ask something about the language barrier.
Yeah.
It's so because music is becoming very global. But I get a lot of critics saying I write a lot in my local language. Some people think I should write more in PG and English. I try to blend the two. But most people say if I want to go beyond Ghana, the shores of Ghana, then I should write more in PG and English.
Thank you. For you alone, as I know you, the only thing that is lacking, it is collaboration for people to know you. Because there is a singer like Richard Bona. When he sings, he doesn't sing in a language, onomatopoeia. You understand? So, if you want to sing for church, in church and so on, people have to understand what you are saying. You understand? Even jazz, they scat, but people like it. Even, I think of the thing, especially for you, because the voice is there, everything is there, it is just collaboration. Because I remember, when I released my first album, I wrote to a big guy in the music industry. He said, it is good. Now what you have to do, collaborate with people from different countries, different people, so that we see what you have. And I started to do that, and things are started to open. So, just, you can sing in your Ghanaian language. I think it is very good. In Pidgin, it's like, it depends on you, but I think that you already have the talent, it's like what it takes to convince people, to be nice, for people to like what you do. But people don't know you because you are into one area. You can see an artist who sings in French, and you sing with him. They will hear your Ghanaian language, and they hear the French. They will see the mixture. It is so nice. This is my view as somebody who deals with producers, people who take artists, they say, okay, you are good, come and talk. So I'm saying it from the information that I have from the people who support artists. So for you, it is just about collaboration. You have to collaborate with different people. You can start it now. It's like you see somebody who speaks French, who sings in French, a rapper is rapping in English, rap in your language, and so on. It will be strong. This is Yeah.
I said, well, I do that.
Yeah.
That's very simple. It's part of the conversation. Like, when you look at Awilo, Awilo blew all over the place.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's saying. We are dancing. For Blondie, you know, it's only one or two English songs. Sweet Panther, you manage to hear the English. Other one, you know, and we enjoy that for Blondie. So I think we should part of the concentration. Your Dokunu, I like it.
Yeah.
And I have to hear. So music appeals to people on various levels. Nobody's sitting down to listen and write exam from your lyrics. So I think you should
Yes.
do what you are doing.
Someone like Richard Bona, his songs are like, he just mime them. It is not a language. I'm saying it because I know him personally. You understand? But sometimes he sing in tribes and so, but his first songs that make him become famous, he was not singing into language, he was just miming.
Even at the video.
Yes. What is the meaning? You understand? But also, something that you have to create also, for you especially, it is putting life into it. Of course, it's like you can dance, you can move, but you have to be very vibrant. And that vibrant, I'm meaning by, it's like you focus very much on yourself when you are performing. It's like how people can appreciate you are thinking about that, and it stops you from being natural and so on. And that can be one problem too. When people watch your show, they should feel entertained. So you have to work on that, and you will see that it will come. Yeah. Another questions? So thank you so much. And yeah.
This is more like a contribution. I was talking to a colleague last week. We both teach music. We teach piano and other instruments. And she was talking to me about how we should use our music to solve problems for people. And so I was very happy when you talked about the various projects and interventions, because since then I've been thinking, okay, so I do classical music. How is that solving a problem for somebody? And it's helping me to think outside the box. And I was happy when you talked about it, solving problems.
Thank you so much. And I can give you some tips also. Which are the countries that really focus on classical music in the world? It is a European countries, but especially Germany. Germany, Austria, sometimes Denmark, Czech Republic, they have the embassy here. What you can do, an example, find their day of the independence and suggest to them that as a classical musician, you want to play a singer of their country, you want to play their music. Or say that their national, the anthem, that you will play it. They will be excited. This is an example. You send to them, they will say, a Ghanaian, classical guitar or classical piano. Okay, come. From there, you have contacts, you have friends. It starts from there. That is something that you have to do. Because one thing that I really don't like in Africa here, we like to hear good things, but now to start doing it now, we don't do. Do it now. Yeah, do it now. Okay. Yeah, so yeah.
Like you were talking about modern concepts as a musician, you mentioned how to read a contract.
How?
To read a contract.
Yes.
You know, you may get a contract and you may not know the details. Probably we may not have studied music management. We don't have any idea, like myself. I don't know what really goes into contract. So what are some of the things we should look for? Or you mentioned that there are some clauses that are dangerous before we sign. So what are some of the things that they put there that we need to understand before we sign up to any thing that comes by?
Yeah. For instance, you know, the music industry is very large. There are some people that are specialized in copyright and so on. And I'm not special in it, but there are some basics as musicians that you have to know. For me, I have an idea of a salary of the musician for some particular activities they have to do. So when I take a contract like this, first of all, I look at what is it that they want me to do. And that part it is in the contract, right? And after, I see the time frame. From which time to which time. This is my own concept that I learned from some of those stars. It's like, what is it that they want you to do, and they are making a contract. You You have to read that very well to see if it is in your capacity. And the second thing, the time frame, from which time to which time the contract has to end. And now the second thing is the mode of payment. Those are the three things that I look a lot. Am I right? What do you want me to do? I have to read it very well. Because sometimes they ask you more than you have to do. And sometimes the time never ends and they want you all the time. So you are now working over contract. You understand? And sometimes too, they say that when you work with me, nobody has to work with you. You understand? So it can catch you. And now the mode of payment. Those are the things that you have to discuss. And also sometimes too, the country of jurisdiction. Those are the things that I look personally. But maybe in the future, maybe this can be an idea for ourselves to bring us someone who specializes in it. I think next year we are bringing us some very top people from America that will, among them will be some journalists, some educators, and some people in the law who will be teaching you about these aspects. But here, the contract issue is not strong. Even sometimes you meet people, you say, okay, let's sign contract, they are afraid. You understand? Yeah. So, but sometimes the contract is good for some things that when you sign a contract, if you want to travel abroad and so on, you can show and they see that you're a professional. It can make things easy for you to be traveling. And also sometimes if you have a job abroad, then you go and you have those things that shows that you have been working in the contract like this. It can increase your chances. Like me, sometimes I'm here, I say that, okay, I did some partnership with the UNESCO and so it works a lot in my things. Yeah, Mr. Cal, you want to say something?
I just wanted to say that UNESCO has a convention. So there are these culture conventions that help with policy and they do a lot of things. Thankfully, Ghana has signed on to these culture conventions in 2015. And what relates to what we are discussing now is the 2005 convention that deals with diversity of cultural expressions. It looks at the status of the artists, and the idea is that it should make mobility for the artists easier, so that if countries that have signed are exchanging, say you're going to Italy, for example, and they have also signed on to the convention, visa issues should be easier based on that convention. But you need somebody who would appropriate this kind of information so that it works, because it's a legal framework that countries sign on to. And that is what I will encourage. What I can do is that from here, I can get your contact list from Boty.
Yes,
and I can share.
Mr. Aaron.
I can share some of this information with you. Take your time and go through that, and then you know what to do. It's very, very important.
Yes.
It is. And for your information also, there's one lady that I know, one Cynthia Purple. She's a lawyer, but I think she's one of the few lawyers managing some of the top Ghanaian artists here. We have a rapport with her, so perhaps at some point when the team is coming, we can involve her. She would have a local context,
yes,
to add. So in the planning, let's look at that.
Yes. Yeah. That's the last but one question.
My name is Nana Bafu.
Yeah, Nana Bafu. I like the name.
I want to congratulate you with the presentation. I like how you presented everything. But I have one question.
Yeah.
It's at the 4 stages of the artist's career.
Yes.
Stages. With the discovery stage, you mentioned having a brand in order to be able to be discovered. So I want to ask, aside having a brand, are there other elements that would help you to be discovered, aside having the brand?
Okay, I will be radical about it. I think it's like Adidas. When you mention Adidas, people are excited. You understand? They don't even think about the shoes already. They think about the name because they have made a big thing in the past and so on. It's like their story, their history tells a story. So the thing is, usually you have to get your artist name, because that is what you are going to sell. Me, my name is Constant Boty. When people want to know about me, they just go to Google, they write Constant Boty, and say, okay. And from there, the discussion is at another level. You understand? So try to get your name. Get your Facebook page under your name. Write things about you. You can say that, okay, today I was at a masterclass about this and so on with Constant Boty and so on. And you just write it there. Write your story. That is what is becoming your brand. Don't just sit down and think that there will be another way. I don't know if there is another way, but I think that that's the best way for us as African. Get your artist name. I met someone yesterday. I asked him, what's your name? And he's mentioning his family name. It is too long. And I said, but nobody has time to say that Mr. Kwekuta is coming on stage. You understand? So it's like find a name and work on that name. Like if it is me, I see Mr. Carl today, I say, okay, today I was with the UNESCO person and so on. And you put it there. It is your story. They say, he's with this guy. You understand? It's like create your story. Make your story. People are going to take you from your story. It is then it starts. Yeah. Can you have something to add? Okay. So anyway, we are done today. Thank you so much, and please start it today. Start now. Working on that. Don't say tomorrow. Start now. Okay. Thank you so much.
Another round of applause for our special. So on behalf of the head of department, the staff and the students of the music department, we want to express our sincere appreciation to you for finding time out of your busy schedule to come and educate us on these very, very important subjects that has to do with music business. This is supposed to be an introduction, an introductory course, but I mean the discussions have gone beyond introduction. So we are very, 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 very much grateful. We look forward to subsequent visits, as you promised, next year. We pray it won't get to a year, but even if it's a year, we'll still be here, God willing, in good health, and we'll welcome you for another vibrant and educative session. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank, okay, so, Professor, yeah, so, yeah, before you play, I also want to thank UNESCO rep for coming. Thank you very much. We met 3 years ago in Cape Coast, but I think we'll talk further after the program. So, Constant Boty is giving us a rendition to crown today's masterclass. Enjoy it. A round of applause.
In October, there is a great, very famous educator and performer coming from Germany, and he's sponsored by Goethe Institute. I will plead for the Goethe to bring the artist here so that he can give a workshop, because he's very famous, great educator, great producer, and contacts will go from there. Okay. No, I don't sing. I don't know how to sing. I have an interview with Deutsche Welle at the house of Kofi Annan. It's like his son. We have to do an interview, and we are like 20 minutes late, right? So it's like I'm playing, but my mind is there. So
Yeah, I was thinking you are late, but can we take a group picture?
yes, please.
We're in COVID times, but let's do this. So, yes. Who's
Stop.
You come inside. I need to come for 1 minute and that's all.
Yeah, you send it with the copy to me.
Okay, sure.
I took a copy of group one, no?
This one, you need to smile to not show. Okay. Thank you.
No, wait. You need to come and stand for 1 minute. Oh, please come back.
Okay, I'm coming.
Okay, so if he shares with you, then you share.
All right. Okay, put it on.
Oh, please come. It's recording. Please come. I'll just take. No, it doesn't matter. It's video. So
Ah, you mean the video?
The video.
It's taken.
The video doesn't have the camera.
A picture of you. Picture.
Done.
Thank you.
So by tomorrow the video will be on YouTube.